I think castles are amazing. This castle has a complex of buildings inside its walls that date back to the Normans, on a site that was previously fortified by the Mercians for fighting the Vikings. The castle has rooms set up as they would have been over the centuries, and has part of the Staffordshire Hoard on display here. It is also possible to go onto the roof of the keep, as well as see the dungeon. This is Tamworth Castle in Tamworth, Staffordshire, England. This video will provide a brief history, context and visiting tips, so please stay to the end for all the detail. I aim to visit and make short videos on many castles across the country, in addition to my regular ones, so please like, subscribe and click the alerts bell for future releases. Thank you for watching Eclectic Experience, change seen through images. Tamworth Castle is located here in Staffordshire, roughly 20 miles from the centre of Birmingham. On this map from Historic England, the red area is the castle, which is an ancient monument and a Grade 1 listed building. To get an idea of age and key dates, with some context, let's look at monarchs. This chart goes from the present King Charles III all the way back to 1066, which is relevant for the castle we see now. However, we need to go back further for this site, to the time of Offa, around 780 AD. Incidentally, he was famous for building Offa's Dyke. And then later on, the town was rebuilt and fortified by Athelflaed, the Lady of Mercia, who was the daughter of King Alfred of Wessex, around 913 AD. And now we're back onto the timeline. This castle was built around 1080, which is during the reign of William I, William the Conqueror. It would have been made up of wooden buildings and a wooden stockade. It was rebuilt in stone between about 1170 and 1190, during the reign of King Henry II. Unlike a lot of castles, something happened during most of each monarch's reign, so we can just work our way through them all. However, in terms of military action, it held out for only 2 days during the English Civil War before falling to the parliamentarian forces, and this was during the reign of Charles I. Unlike many castles, it was not slighted or made unusable, and continues to be in use today, right up to King Charles III. The castle itself is a classic motte or mound and bailey castle that was built all over England by the Normans to control the towns and the local areas. Today the bailey area is mainly a park, but the motte or mound is superb, with its causeway reaching up from the bailey to the substantial buildings on the top. This has all developed over nearly 1,000 years. The original wooden buildings were replaced with stone. An excellent example of Norman stonework is the herringbone work that can be seen on the causeway leading between the bailey and the motte. This is a picture of the site map, which you get on entrance to the castle. There are buildings up against most of the walls, making full use of this space. It was continually amended, right up until it was purchased by the council and opened as a museum in 1899. That is 1899. There is a lot here. The dungeon and then the armoury on the ground floor. And this covers medieval warfare with some interactive displays. It's great for kids. Working up through the building, there are displays covering different time periods and how the castle would have been set up for use at those times. One of the highlights is a display that covers the period before the Normans, when England was made up of warring kingdoms, and covers how Mercia was created, probably with its best known names of Offa, who I've previously mentioned built Offa's Dyke, and then the very interesting Athelflaed, the Lady of the Mercians. She is really interesting. The daughter of King Alfred the Great, who is known for burning the cakes, who, following the death of her husband, ruled the Mercians, and then with her brother Edward, who had succeeded Alfred as King of Wessex, together they fought off the Vikings, laying the foundations for a united England. Incidentally, some of these characters were featured in the Netflix series Last Kingdom. Not totally historically accurate, but very good entertainment, and does give the gist of the story of how England was created. This display is connected to the Staffordshire Hoard, which is the largest collection of Anglo-Saxon gold and silver metalwork ever found. It's believed to be 7th century. From these remains they have recreated what a warrior might have looked like, seen here. Other highlights from the castle include being able to go up the stairs right to the top of the tower and see the very impressive views over the town and countryside, and you really get an idea of why the castle was sited here. Throughout the castle there are rooms displaying different periods in its history, showing how it was used in actually quite different ways. I'll highlight a couple. This is one of the more spectacular, the Great Hall, with its high ceiling and its display of armour and weapons, and also its large windows. But equally interesting, there are other rooms, including the heavy wooden panelling seen here, and then at the top of the castle, this lighter Georgian room. Then back down in the courtyard, I really like this space. We can see how full the top of the mound is, and this is what many castles would have actually looked like if they'd not been either slighted following the Civil War or fell into disrepair. I think the old woodwork is particularly impressive when you think about all the people who would have opened and closed these doors. Visiting tips. This castle is owned and administered by Tamworth Borough Council, and there is an entry charge. It is easy to get to Tamworth by train or car and then walk to the site. To get to the tower, it is necessary to go up a steep ramp, and once inside there are a lot of stairs and even some uneven floors, as you would expect with a building that's this age. But if you're up to it, it is well worth the effort. There are toilets on the site as well as a small gift shop. It's really good to see a castle that has stayed in use, and a lot of content inside it rather than just empty walls, which unfortunately with many is the case. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Please like, click alerts for future releases and subscribe. Brought to you by Eclectic Experience. Change seen through images.